Mr. By the Mile here with American Sputnik. We are going to be discussing the tragedy that we experienced a couple days ago. And it struck me really hard. Sputnik was the first one who made me of Charlie Kirk's assassination. And I thought it was a joke at first. I didn't know who he was talking about at first. I was like, he said, um, I forget exactly what you said, but I was like, hey, I'll check it out in a minute. And then for a second, I thought Trump got shot at again. And when I clicked over to Instagram where you sent the video, I was yeah,
Yeah,
I watched that crap 3 times, and I was shocked, dude. I was shocked. Um,
yeah, dude.
it it hasn't sat right with me at all. Like it's that's one of the most horrific things I think that I've ever seen.
Oh, dude, it was very up close and it was really graphic. When I was just scrolling on Instagram that evening, I just got back from a trip with my wife, and I saw that. I was like, I couldn't believe it. Like, is this fake? Is this not real? And like, then everyone in my group from my church in Colorado started texting too. Like, I had sent, oh, so I sent it to you. I was like, "This is terrible." Like, I couldn't believe that I saw that. Like, especially on Instagram. At the time, it was so fresh that it didn't even have like a warning notification or like graphic content notification.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
was just, I was like, felt terrible
they
after I
wanted
saw
us.
that. Yeah, dude.
When I was talking to some people at the DMV the other day, we'll call it the DMV. Um, as we were sitting in the waiting area, I found out that that's actually how most people eat.
Yeah,
Restrictive. They're not gonna let you see something, and we saw it all. Like that shit was horrific, dude. And then I became pretty damn angry. Um, Cried a few times when I was in my car driving to where I was going. Um, like it kept replaying in my head, and then I actually like screamed because I was like, and this guy was getting through to people, he was getting through to our youth. And it was after I had watched a couple of videos of some youngsters like 22, 23 years old talking about how Charlie Kirk was able to change their minds from that toxic liberal mentality to a more conservative and loving mentality. All the dude preached was how how Christ loves us, how we should give our lives to him, how much better your life is after giving your life to him. And I guess the crazy part is that I officially gave my life to Christ in July, on a Sunday of all times. And like I told people on the video I made the other day, accept Christ for the first time, just like seeing him in person. It's like you feel him standing there, and it's not like, oh God, forgive me for everything I've done, but it's like it brings you to tears, and you become instantly humbled by a force that you can't even see. You know, it was an experience that I'll remember for the rest of my life. And now I know what Christians are talking about. I know there's a lot of fake ones out there, and I think I can spot them pretty easily out there because when they sound monotone and all the same, you kind of know that they're full of crap. But when you hear about their profound moment that they had, and like his wife was talking about, Erica was saying
uh
that Charlie found the Lord through being out in nature, nature walks and stuff like that. And that's kind of how my journey went, going from a pretty loser from a loser mentality to the winner mindset that I have now. And Christ comes to you when at your worst or at your best. Either way, when you're working on yourself and you're working towards being a better person and truly being grateful. Grateful is one of the elements to create the to to create that moment in your life where you're finally like aha moment, light bulb, like damn, people first and foremost. That last post that I made on what Charlie Kirk was saying, his very last Instagram post, I think he said the three P's, right? People, place, and I forget what the third one is. People, place, and forget the third one. But man, dude, all he ever preached to people was the truth. And then people say that it's Trump's fault for his assassination. Um, but it's not. I blame it on this progressive left wing hateful rhetoric, you know.
Yeah, 100%. You got these kids out there that are so overly brainwashed into this narrative of LGBT propaganda, gender dysphoria. I don't know this guy's case. I mean, I'm just barely reading a little bit about him, but he was involved in some sort of extremist stuff online, and I whatever he was into and led him to make a decision to do that, to take a man's life in front of his family, in front of everybody, in public like that. It's pretty disgusting. I didn't agree with everything Charlie Kirk said, but overall I agreed with almost most of what he said, because what he was doing for the youth of the United States and for everywhere is, telling people this propaganda they're teaching children in schools to change their gender and all this stuff. This is sick. He's actually helping people who were brainwashed into it and willing to sit down and talk to them. He made people look dumb when they'd come up and say something, and then a lot of the times those people would realize you were right. You're right. So what he was doing was, he was helping people, and
Mhm.
the way they saw it, they saw it as you're a Nazi, you're a fascist. That's all they can like come up with, because they can't really speak about anything well themselves. I mean, any person in their right mind would see everything going on with this, this propaganda in schools, with this left movement. It's obviously wrong. Here in
Yeah.
Russia, they talked about it on the news that, this guy was promoting cultural values, a Christian man who, promoted people to be a hardworking man, not fall into this left, wing LGBT propaganda that they're pushing, and then they go and kill him. So they've been talking about
Mhm.
that a lot on the news here. Not a lot of people don't know who he is here, but there are some who do, and I've seen some Instagram posts in the Russian language, and then obviously, on the news, they've been talking about it all week, and it's not even the first incident this week. This last week we have a girl getting gruesomely murdered on their way back from work in a train for no
Irina
reason. And then, yeah,
Zarutska.
Irina, yup. And then you have this mass shooting in Colorado, and then the assassination of Charlie Kirk. I'm looking at all this stuff, and it just makes me feel sad that this is just going on at such a big level in my country. It's upsetting for sure. And thinking of that girl and immigrant in the U.S. My wife was living in L.A. riding the train by
Mhm.
herself. And we were talking about this. This was before we met, or like right when we started dating. And I was just like, can imagine if that happened to her. Here you go on the metro and you're not ever have to worry about such a thing. I mean, you've seen some of my content showing that, but I mean, that was out of pure cold blood that happened. And the fact that, the left, the West, the CNN, MSNBC, they will not cover such a thing because it doesn't fit their
No,
narrative, which is pretty disgusting,
right. And the left has proven time and time again how wrong they are. And I'm a person that likes to listen to both sides. And one thing that I agreed with a left winger on is that it's important to have two sides, Republican, Democrat, and that without that, it's it's kind of communist. But at the same time, when you have an extreme left and extreme right, I mean, that's also extreme trying to divide us, pull us apart. I think for the most part, most Americans, the way we actually are is not the way, it's that's not what we believe in. The stuff that they're putting out there is not what we believe in. But for the first time, all of the posts that you're seeing about Charlie Kirk, that is what we believe in. And then the way they're allowing this hate to spread about, I mean, I'm all about free speech, but dude, we saw the man get assassinated in front of our eyes. It was in front of his wife's Erica's eyes, probably his children. Then they filmed it, and it's going to be up there for the whole world to see, probably for the rest of their lives. I don't know when they're going to take that down. They should take it down. Um, like, I'm all about free speech, man. Say what you want to say, but you're going to deal with the repercussions for sure. Um, I think it's been proven that we're a party of peace because we're not out there rioting in the streets, like you said earlier, with George Floyd and all this, dude. And I know that when they put up these statues of Charlie Kirk, that they're going to deface him. I already know that's going to happen. And it's important for all you watching right now. If you see this happen, do not become violent. Let them do what they're going to do. Call authorities, and because I mean that is vandalism. They're going to go to jail and prison. So you know what? Let's mark up their records. Let's make sure that they get put away. It's on their records for the rest of their lives, and never comes off. Um, let them let them hang themselves, so to speak. It's it kind of feels like it's time for us to stand up and fight, right? Physically, like you want to, like it's a natural instinct to want to physically take care of business, but that's what our enemies want, you know. Enemy.
It's gonna be their own downfall is showing what they do compared to what, we do. And, we're being
Mhm.
civilized. We're not burning down cars and people's businesses like they do every single time something doesn't go their
Yup.
way. We're being mature
Yup.
adults about it, and that's going to be the self-destruction of their own group because they're showing to even their more mild followers that like what are these people that I'm supporting? These people are insane. They're animals. They're animals. That's not
Right.
how you respond to something when you get angry, especially when you're
Shoot
destroying
someone.
other people's properties, it's
Disgusting,
illegal, it's
bro.
against the law, so it's like if I was angry
Yeah.
about something, I well, back in America, here in Russia, I'm an immigrant. If I'm angry, if I don't like something, I could leave. I'm not going to complain. I'm not going to make a thing. It's my choice to live here. I'm not going to cause problems in here. I'm a guest here. And as a guest in this country, as an immigrant into this country, I'm going to pretend I'm at somebody's house as a guest. I'm going to make sure everything's extra clean. I'm not going to, when you stay at your friend's house who's a guest, you're gonna make sure you made your bed and everything's nice, and you're
Yeah.
not gonna treat it like your own home. And a lot of these people
Yup.
who come to the United States, I mean, look at what they're doing to the city of LA a few months ago.
Yup.
Is that what a
And
guest
they're
should do?
making yeah, and they're making the good legal immigrants look horrible, because I know so many good people from over the border, right? A lot of good people that I've worked with over the years, good natured, good hearted people. You see them on TikTok, you see them on YouTube speaking their mind. They have respect for our country. They fly their flag and they fly our flag. That's fine. You can do that and a little proud because yeah, sure, you have this heritage. And let's ask ourselves, heritage, your culture, when it comes to Mexicans, hardworking, good-hearted people, usually Catholic Christian backgrounds, believe in the dad goes out, works hard, brings home the bacon for the family, and everybody respects dad. You know, that's the culture, and that is the American way of life as well. That's what we fight to protect. But you have these left wing liberals who come here, get poisoned by left wing propaganda, they start voting left and their lives get worse. You don't help people by giving them money to stay in poverty. You want to help them? You're sending billions of dollars over there to where it's not supposed to go. Give them $1 million to get a head start. Maybe. I'm not saying do that, but I'm saying that would be better, right? Than our enemies. I mean, come on. And then people want to get mad when they come here. They act dumb, right? Maybe they are hard workers, but they break the law in the most unimaginable way, like raping a woman on the street or child. You know, get the hell out of here. We don't want you. That's why it takes long to get your citizenship in this country. And that's how it's supposed to be. And every other country follows suit, but everybody gets mad when the United States of America finally puts their foot down. And I mean, hey, Timmy Bagwell, yes, we are Charlie Kirk now. Absolutely. We're going to continue to carry on Charlie Kirk's message to the rest of the world. You know, they can off one of us, but they can't off all of us.
Yeah, dude. You know, well, like you were saying, for instance, my wife was an immigrant in the United States. She did everything legally to get her U.S. citizenship. And towards the end, it started taking longer because it was during Biden administration, and he's letting all these people in, and these people who didn't pay any money, they didn't pay anything, are getting documents and getting to jump the line for people who actually paid and did things the legal way. So that angered, of course, me and my wife. That kept us there longer. We want to be here closer to our the relatives here, but that was just really unnecessary. Like, you're gonna let people who for in here for free, like it's nothing, welcome. But then you're a normal citizen, a veteran, or even at the time I was serving when I was married to my wife, and you're gonna put people who never did anything for this country, who are here illegally, ahead of us in line to give them work authorization or something. My wife already had that, but her citizenship process took longer because of all this, which was disgusting. Especially at the
Yeah,
time of me, I was serving it back then, and then I was a veteran
yep.
still. Like, it was ridiculous.
100% agreed. For those of you joining here for the first time, this is my good friend, American Sputnik, Marcelo. He is a Army combat veteran who's now living in Russia with his family. His wife is Russian. He just had a beautiful baby boy. What's his name, Marcelo?
Mikhail.
If you want to share.
Oh, Mikhail.
Awesome name. And
Yeah.
he's happy in Russia, dude. He's, making money here on YouTube and just communicating to everyone, because that's what me and Marcelo are trying to do is, reach our youth so that they can start living more productive lives. For those of you who are seeing me for the first time, as me and Marcelo actually met through here, what, 4 years ago, dude?
Yeah,
Now at
when I
this
got out of
point?
the army. Yeah, three years ago when I got out of the army.
And we
I was
instantly clicked. I've always shared how important it is, right, to have that those values where the man works, the wife stays at home, he takes care of her and the kids, and you have this this beautiful family unit that the Mexicans believe in, that true Americans believe in, that I think everybody wants to believe in.
the
Only this
Russians are
progressive
pushing it.
left wing BS is trying to destroy it. And that's what Charlie Kirk was fighting. And in bringing Christ into the family home is exactly where it's at. And Marcelo is an Orthodox Catholic. Am I getting that right, Marcelo?
Orthodox Christian, Catholic separate
Orthodox
from that.
Christian. Yeah, so,
Yeah.
my bad, bro.
No, you're good. You're good.
Vanessa N says thank you for your service,
Hey,
and
thank you,
NY
and thank
Fly
you,
says good morning.
NY Fly. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, I'm gonna be going out there soon with Marcelo. I don't want to give a date publicly because I don't want you know anybody having too many details, but you guys will know when I'm there, and me and Marcelo are gonna have a great time out there. Have a lot of new things to show you guys. Make sure that you guys go over to his YouTube, subscribe. He got over 7,000 subscribers in less than 2 months. So he's doing great and all the way to the top, bro. But
Yeah.
back to the subject of Charlie Kirk. Now that you guys know who we are, um, I wanna know we wanna know, Marcelo and I wanna know how you guys felt about Charlie Kirk's assassination and how you guys feel about the hateful things that you've been hearing people say on the internet. Because for me, it's enraged me, right? Um, I shed tears a few times. The first night, it was kinda hard to sleep, although I did get sleep. Um, it was pretty hard to fall asleep, and I think I woke up twice during the night because that image is gonna be with me forever. He got hit in the neck, and I mean, you guys saw, dude. That the shit.
I mean, when I saw
Obvious.
that video, like, and I rewatched it again as I was texting some buddies in my group chat in my church in Colorado. I was like, I watched again. I'm like, there's no way he's gonna make it. It was still in the hospital. It was right when it happened. And, I had this like
Mhm.
dark feeling over me, and especially the next morning, I woke up and I was just
Right.
like, can't believe, especially me as a
Yep.
father, like, not being able to come home to my son. It made me feel sick to my stomach, and it's made me. I'm not just grieving for Charlie Kirk, but I'm grieving for America right now because that is my home country, and it's really sad to see that it's coming to this back home. And it's such a high. So many events last week. So many events took place. Like
Yep.
and Colorado, the same day I believe there's a mass shooting in Colorado.
Wow. There was something else that happened. Oh, uh, it was 9/11. The very next, on was it on
Yeah,
that day or the day before 9/11? Right?
it was the 10th. It was September 10th.
Yeah, the day before 9/11. It's
Yeah.
like, wha- and this individual, right, who killed Charlie Kirk. This is what the left wing is creating, and this this assassination impacted me so much because Charlie Kirk was only trying to do what Marcelo and I have been trying to do, in our community with our age group and younger, right? Like, for example, for me, I show people with actions. I was able to buy my house, work in a union job. My wife stays at home. I have these three beautiful children. Marcelo's doing what he thinks is best for his family. Um, he served his country proudly, was successful at it, was good at it, can still do some great damage. Like, these are the type of people like Marcelo, American Sputnik, that I associate myself with, and that Charlie Kirk would associate himself with. We are the backbone of the United States of America. We are Charlie Kirk. And if you guys agree with that, subscribe to this channel, Mr. By the Mile. Subscribe to American Sputnik. We have great content coming out for you. We're going to go all around the world, far as we can go. And dude, if we can just reach one person today, it's all about planting seeds, like Charlie Kirk said, leading them to Christ. That's what's going to really help people, um, become better. And most importantly, to become happy, because it's happy people that make or break a society. But
And
how do we achieve
here
happiness?
here they're promoting right now traditional values life here in the Russian Federation. I know many people who are my subscribers or people who are on YouTubers as well, and they moved here for that sole purpose to get away from what was the destruction going on in the United States with this whole gender dysphoria. My nephew, for example, in California, he comes home to my brother and saying that my homework was about should I do what gender should I be? It's an 8-year-old boy. Why should you be
Yeah,
asking that in
bro.
school? Russia, they giving people residency to come here, and if you want to live here, a lot of people done it. That's not my reason for come here, but it is a bonus because this whole stuff that Charlie Kirk was fighting doesn't exist here at all. Thank God. I mean, I think that people wouldn't let it
Yeah.
happen, but I respect people like Charlie Kirk for, on the home front and just combating this pure evil, what they're trying to do to
Mhm.
children in schools and promoting this weird lifestyle and that you can change your gender and that we need to accept it on top, and they push it like they're if you want to talk who's a Nazi, you're forcing me to acknowledge your pronouns. I mean, I've
Yep.
seen people get fired for not acknowledging. In Ireland, for example, they arrested a teacher for not acknowledging pronouns. It's disgusting, you know. So
See
what Charlie
that
Kirk
it's
was
an
doing for our youth,
indoctrination
man.
camp. You're right. These colleges, these schools, they're indoctrination camps for the left wing, and the fact that the left has their claws in so deeply doesn't sit right with me that the right allows it. So it tells me, it shows me that we also have leaders in the right wing that are pretending to be our friend, but they're not. Um, and go for everybody. See it. I know there's people in this live stream right now that are left wing minded. I There's got to be, right? But just open your eyes and see that it's not right to impose on children what Marcel is addressing right now, what we're addressing right now. Like you need to open your mouth and you need to fight back, but everybody's so comfortable with their McDonald's and anything and everything that they have going on in their life. If you're a dad and you plant a tree, that tree's gonna take a long time to grow, but eventually it's gonna give shade to your children, right? And people just don't think like that anymore. Like, how many times at work I've seen people that could do something nice, you know, but they don't do it. They don't care about, like, being union minded, right? Kind of give up fighting for your right, um, to get what it is you deserve as an employee, as a worker, but they stop fighting because, hey, I'm going to retire in 5 years. I mean, I get it. You've been fighting for the last 30 years, but how else do we fight the way Charlie Kirk did? By informing, teaching, instructing the next generation that's coming up, right? You have to inform them, you have to educate them, to create future warriors. Otherwise, we're allowing this hateful rhetoric to raise them, and it's gonna that'll become the downfall of any organization or country. And Charlie Kirk understood that at a very young age, and due to success, still a success, period.
Well, the fact is, he's promoting being a good father. I'm a Christian man. It's having faith, backed family, just being a family man, working hard, taking care of your family. And there's nothing wrong with that at all. And you want to
Right.
call somebody a fascist because that's not right. You're a straight white Christian male. Like, where do you even come up with this stuff? Some of these people that, like, when I hear that, it's like, I live in a Orthodox Christian country. Like, that's how everybody is here in Russia. Everybody. If you were to tell
And
somebody they're wrong
people
for doing it, it wouldn't go very well for you for sure.
tell
And
them how people call you a traitor.
oh yeah, people do what? Because I live here. Yeah, that's ridiculous, dude. I mean, you can if I were to live in Mexico or Germany because my wife was German or, Mexican, would I be a traitor then too? I love both countries just as much as the other. I mean, America's my home. That's why I'm on this live stream today because I am truly saddened to what happened, and what's going on there in a level. I come here because I got close relatives who I love that, my wife's family, and they're here to help take care of my son. And I love the life and culture. I speak the language, I took the time to study and learn it. So yeah, I mean, I don't know why, people, yeah, they call me you're a traitor. They're just ignorant. They're dumb. Everyone who
Yep.
served with me, especially deployed with me, they're like, dude, that looks awesome. I want to go there too. I would do the same thing. Not one of my buddies, yeah, not one of my friends in the army said anything like that. Most of those guys see my posts on Facebook and they're like, dude, you're living it up, dude. I love that.
your own and in a whole new environment with
Different
a whole new,
language.
yeah. And you speak Russian extremely well. I mean, I think so.
Thank
And
you.
hard. I'm gonna start, learning some things before I'm ready to go out there. But it's amazing what you've done, and people will always hate on amazing things that we do. I mean, it's really that simple. Look at all the flack that I get for talking about my house. Like, if people are trying to become a truck driver, it's because they want to make money so that they can buy things like have a home, have a wife that stays home, have children. I think everybody wants that. It's pretty healthy mindset unless you're unless you're a psycho. But I mean, even psychos have families, right? But like, I have to show proof of the success in order for people to believe it. And those who say that I'm bragging or showing off are nothing more than jealous stuff out there. Continue to badmouth my buddy. All you're going to do is get us more and more famous. So talk your mess. It's cool. NY Fly says I moved out with my two boys and my wife, and we live in Iowa now. You do
Nice.
what's best for you.
Exactly.
Um, yeah.
Well, coming back to what you were just saying is, when I started, when I'm as a somebody who watches YouTube, right, and I find somebody I'm interested, like you, for example, I was interested in getting my CDL, working a union job, and I see this guy showing, hey, I bought a house, I did this. You're showing the fruits of your labor, and it makes someone like me as a viewer think, wow, I can do that. Like I can do that. You're not overly boasting about anything. You're simply showing the fruits of your labor, which is totally fine because I managed to buy a house as well and do all these things. And this is, you're showing what you obviously, I'm at the time I wasn't a YouTuber, but I would tell other friends of mine who maybe didn't have a good job, they're thinking about getting in trucking, I would use things like that, hey, like you can have a more comfortable life. Like if you're into driving trucks, you want to get your CDL, I'd say go for it. Like this is how my life has changed since I had been doing it. I worked union jobs and I don't think it would have been as good. I would be paying a lot for my wife's insurance or whatever if I hadn't gone union. And the job
Dude.
security as well. I mean, look how much I was traveling. I was working at 7 Up. I was gone almost half the year. What, like 4 months? I was abroad in Russia, I was in Japan, I was in Turkey, I was in Mongolia, and
Dude.
Kazakhstan. I went to 5 countries last year. Spent most of the time
Yeah.
in Russia, and I went right back to work. Took a
Dude,
pause
when I
in
hit
my
you up,
thing.
when either you or we hit one another up and you were chilling on the Black Sea in Turkey, I was like, "What, dude? That is
Yeah, dude.
badass.
Yeah,
That
dude.
is badass."
With a union job, I allowed to take a temporary leave of absence for a good minute. At the time, they were like, "Yeah, you know what? Go for it. You've been here enough time." I said, I got to take care of some things and I stopped at a bunch of countries along the way. Came back to America, went right back to work.
That's
No,
freaking rad,
that's the
bro.
level of job security you have at a union job.
That's right.
So that's why your word about your work, that line of work is very influential in showing the fruits of your labor. If I had been doing it, I'd be showing the same thing. I'm not boasting here. I'm just
Absolutely.
showing, look at what you can do if you get into this profession instead of sitting around complaining that I never have money, I'm always bouncing around different jobs. Find yourself a profession where you have job security and you can do the things that you want and achieve the goals you want. Like any normal person buys a house, not bragging that you bought a house. Like show it as much as you to as many people as possible to get more people into the industry.
Yeah, it's crazy how people spend more energy hating than achieving. And they're always going to be in that loser mindset cycle. Like Andrew Tate says, you're a brokey.
Yeah.
they're
Well,
always
here
they're
too.
always
Like
going to be a brokey.
I know guys here who they like to complain about things. They always try to blame someone else for why they don't have this, especially me as
Yeah,
American. They're all like, "Oh, you must be rich because you're American." Like, no, like for one, you have most of these people have their own paid off apartments because a lot of after the Soviet Union collapsed, everyone got this free stuff, and you're complaining. and then you're talking to me about how you played Dota on your computer for 10,000 hours, and I'm like, so, you're spending this time playing video games. Did I freeze up?
You, we can hear you.
Okay, that's weird.
Lost audio as well, but we should get you back here in a minute. Try turning your camera the other way and then turning it back toward you. I have a feeling it's.
It's because my mother-in-law just called me, but, I had to deny the
Oh,
call.
okay. That's why.
Yeah. No, I
That's
mean,
why.
but I mean, back to what I'm saying is like, you sit and use excuses and use other people to complain about your life instead of just staying quiet and working hard to achieve things. Like I don't sit here and blame, oh, it's the government's fault that I have no money. No, it's because you're lazy. Yeah, I meet a
Right.
lot of people who have a lot of money here, and I never once hear them complain about government or little things. They're just having a good time, like, because they're just
Hmm.
hardworking people. Same in America.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
it's
a
these
hundred
people that
percent
Charlie
agreed.
Kirk were, arguing with a lot, where these people blaming the government why they don't have this. Oh, I don't have a job because of the color of my skin. That's nonsense. That's complete nonsense.
Yeah. Yeah. I want to take a moment real quick to thank all you guys. This live stream is turning out very well. We've had like up to 60 people in here. We still got 35. So I mean, thank you guys. This is a good turnout. I appreciate all of you. Make sure that you comment in here, speak your mind. This is a platform that I think Marcelo can agree that we are here to let you speak, no matter what it is you want to say. We believe in these our core American values and freedom of speech, the right to bear arms, all that. You guys talk about whatever it is you want to talk about. All we have to do is if it's going to be negative, we're going to ignore you. It's as simple as that. You're free to speak, we're free to ignore, free to respond. Make sure that you go over and subscribe to American Sputnik, subscribe to yours truly, Mr. By the Mile. Thank you all for being in this live chat. We're at 37 minutes. I think we're going to do about 45. Um, the next thing that I want to touch on is for those of you that are thinking to travel, right? We uh we get caught up in like, wanting to travel later after we retire. Understand that if you don't have a union job, right? And I'm not saying that you can't retire if that you can't retire unless you have a union job, but it makes it a heck of a lot easier when you've got that pension going for you, or if you have something like this going on, right? So the other thing that I like to push that Charlie Kirk also pushed is don't make social media your end all be all and trying to be famous, especially if you're young listening to this right now. This is for you. Is all good homes, businesses, companies, everything has solid foundation, right? Rules, regulations, and then the groundwork, right? A solid foundation to build upon, right? Something that's going to pay for you and your family's healthcare. That's a solid foundation, and build on that. Social media, secondhand, comes second. Make sure that you have a good career. Go out there, get married, right? Date a long time, right? And if you have to divorce, divorce quickly. And I think that's also what Charlie Kirk talked about, right? Is getting caught up in the physical realm is going to be people's downfall. Make sure you get married for the right reasons and make sure you know exactly who it is you're marrying. One of the things that Charlie Kirk said that I really liked is travel and get into uncomfortable situations as fast as you can with somebody that you want to be with. What do you think about that one, Marcelo?
Oh, I think 100%. I've, traveling with my wife, we've had all kinds of incidents or whatever happened in different
Okay, it looks
minute.
like we're
Okay,
losing audio.
yeah, give me 1 minute.
Is your mother-in-law still trying to call you?
Yeah, she is, but my wife's not answering her phone. I don't, yeah, she's. Oh, whatever. Can you hear me at all?
I hear you now. Everything's good now.
Okay. Yeah, no,
Where's
no,
your
of
wife at
course.
right? Is she home?
She's sitting with a baby in the living room.
Oh, okay. She's preoccupied then.
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
hear from you and talk to you. I'm gonna give you a call right now when we end the stream.
I'm
Those
gonna
of you
send
who
a
are here for the
little
first time,
message real quick. If you haven't subscribed to
sure.
my channel is
Yep.
non-political, all about travel content, you know. So
Hmm.
come check it out if you want to see some new crazy places, you know. Subscribe and enjoy.
Yeah, man, Marcelo's going on some awesome adventures out there. I'm going to be joining him soon. Again, this also is not a political channel. I already told you guys what I'm about, just trying to, get a good message out to our youth. And you guys, thank you for watching Mr. By the Mile with American Sputnik. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. See you on the next live stream. I have this video up right now that you guys can go and check out. Marcelo, can't wait to see you, brother.
Yep, no worries, man. I'll talk to you soon.
All right, bro.
All right, late.